Hi, I'm John Farrell with the Farrell Law Firm. Before we get into today's story, I just want to say thank you. Our channel continues to grow, and that's all because of you. So if you enjoy stories like this, if you find value in learning how to protect your legacy and your loved ones, take a second and hit that subscribe button. Alright now, let's get to the story of Miss Franklin's mistake. She was a woman of immense talent, a woman who revolutionized an industry, who inspired generations, who built an empire from nothing, a woman who defined American culture in a way very few ever have. She was legendary, her business savvy unmatched, her wealth vast. But when her time came, her family wasn't left with a carefully prepared estate. Instead, they were left with confusion, chaos, and a courtroom battle that would take years to resolve. The day was August 16, 2018. Miss Franklin passes away at the age of 76. Her death is mourned by millions. Her life had become the soundtrack of history, a voice for the unheard, a symbol of power and resilience. And though her life was long and full, her impact was even greater. During her lifetime, she had built something incredible. Her influence stretched across generations. Her estate, at the time of her passing, was estimated to be worth $80 million. But there was just one problem. Miss Franklin, a woman who demanded respect in every area of her life, never created a formal will. At least, that's what everyone thought. As her grieving family gathered, lawyers stepped in. With no clear instructions left behind, the court took over. But then, something unexpected happened. Not one, not two, but multiple handwritten wills were discovered. Scribbled notes, tucked away in different locations, each with conflicting instructions. And with that, a new battle began. Without a properly executed estate plan, things got messy and real fast. Her children, some from different relationships, were left to fight over what their mother had really wanted. One handwritten will gave control to one son. Another divided assets differently. Some pages were barely legible. Others had notes scribbled in the margins. And then there was the biggest question of all. Were these even legally valid? So the matter went to court. And while her family fought, the estate bled money. Lawyers, judges, accountants, all getting paid while her loved ones battled over the remains of her fortune. Millions of dollars were drained in legal fees, all because she never took the time to create one clear legal and binding plan. And the woman who had spent her life controlling her image and her business lost control of it all in death. Because without a plan, it wasn't her voice that mattered anymore. It was the courts. It didn't have to be this way. Miss Franklin was one of the most respected figures in her industry. She had spent decades negotiating contracts, protecting her intellectual property, and securing her place as a legend. And yet, when it came to her personal estate, she left it to chance. Maybe she thought she had more time. Maybe she thought her family would work things out. Maybe she just didn't want to think about it. But by avoiding the conversation, by failing to make her wishes clear, she created the very situation she likely feared most: division, infighting, and unnecessary loss. Miss Franklin should have known better. She had built an empire. She had made history, but she left behind confusion instead of clarity. Maybe you know her by another name, a name that symbolized soul music itself, because Miss Franklin was actually Aretha Franklin. That's right, the Queen of Soul. A woman whose voice was powerful enough to move nations, but whose estate was powerless in the face of legal uncertainty. A woman who demanded respect in every part of her life, except when it came to her legacy. If it could happen to her, it could happen to anyone. Aretha Franklin had every reason to plan ahead, but she didn't. And because of that, her family suffered. Now imagine if that were your family. What if instead of your wishes being honored, your estate was stuck in court? What if instead of your loved ones being protected, they were forced into legal battles? What if the people you trusted most weren't the ones making decisions about your legacy? You don't have to be a millionaire or a music legend to make a plan. You just have to care about what happens to the people you love. If you don't have a plan in place, now's the time. Not someday, now. Because no one knows what tomorrow brings. And if you don't take control of your legacy, someone else will. It doesn't matter if you have millions or just a modest estate. Without a plan, the government will decide what happens to it. And that decision may not be what you want. So don't leave your family with questions. Give them answers. Give them security. Give them a plan. Because that's the lesson from Miss Franklin's mistake. Oh, and before you go, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. We're on the road to 2,500 subscribers, and every new subscriber helps us reach more people with these important lessons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.